Hey, y'all. This is Reverend Will Ryan, the senior minister at First Christian Church, and it's midweek devotion time. Every Wednesday about 11 o'clock, we stop what we're doing, stop doom scrolling, stop working, stop watching TV or whatever we're doing to focus a little bit more on the spiritual matters of life. And each week I write a devotion, and so this is sort of like the video version of that. You get me sort of preaching the message that I wrote for this week. This week focuses on this past Sunday, because this past Sunday after worship, I stopped at Lowe's to get some bags of soil, some bags of rocks, some stones, because it was going to be an afternoon of working in the yard. It was a beautiful day, and the forecast for the rest of the week right now was suspect at best. Rain, rain, rain. So spending time outside on Sunday made sense. Hostas were planted, herbs were potted, and I even made a new flower bed around our mailbox. It was a good afternoon, even if I did then have to run the Lowe's a second time because I didn't buy enough bricks or potting soil. You always hate to do that, but it was good to be able to. It was a pretty simple but pretty ordinary day. That didn't mean it was any less good. The simple and the ordinary often get a little bit of a bad rap, particularly when it comes to our faith and to God. We don't want God to be simple or ordinary, or the way we experience God to be simple or ordinary. We expect God to show up in pyrotechnics, as God did for Moses in the burning bush. Or we expect God to knock us down from our proverbial horse with a blinding light, like Jesus did for Saul/Paul. Or we expect God to whisk us away on some special mission, some special way we're going to share the good news, as the Spirit did for Philip in the book of Acts. We expect to find God in the grand, the ostentatious, or the incredible, not in the humble, unassuming, or common. But it is just as biblical, or maybe even more faithful, to believe God shows up in the ordinary things we do. I mean, God showed up to Ezekiel in the sound of sheer silence in Ezekiel 34. And the Spirit is the one who brings wisdom to the masses. See Proverbs 3. And Jesus even said, "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." Time and time again, Scripture tells us and shows us the value of the little things in life, that a faithful life is one that serves unassumingly. We see this very clearly in all of the resurrection appearances, but particularly when Jesus shows up on the seashore in John 21. The disciples, already aware Jesus has been raised from the dead, they go back to their everyday, ordinary lives. They go back to their jobs before they were ever disciples. They go fishing. And it's amid this ordinary task, literally just their job, Jesus shows up. Now, yes, he does help them catch a lot of fish, but it's only for a way for the disciples to see that he is there among them so that they'll notice him. As soon as these disciples return to the shore, Jesus even invites them to do something that we all do every day: eat. He already prepared a fire to roast a nice breakfast of bread and freshly caught fish. I would have preferred eggs, but beggars can't be choosers, you know. And Jesus invites the disciples to dig in with him, to share a meal with them. Jesus shows up in their normal, everyday lives and invites them to do something with him that they would have done anyway. And so, sure, God can and does do amazing things that inspire and change the world. But don't miss that God is just as likely to show up and give meaning to the everyday things we do. Don't think that those little chores and activities aren't places where Jesus meets us. Don't forget the Spirit blows where it chooses, even amid ordinary afternoons spent working out in the yard. I guarantee you, God's going to show up at some point in your life when you least expect it, when you're doing something monotonous. That's where you're most likely to be found by God. Thanks for joining me this week. I hope you heard a word of grace in this devotion. If you did like it, like or share it with someone you think needs to hear it. I think a lot of people need a reminder that God shows up in our everyday things. I hope to see you for worship on Sunday at 10:30 in person or online. But if not, our sending is the same as always. God be with you till we meet again.